I've spent the last couple of days trying out the Japanese art of Kumiko, not really sure how you say it, but however you say it, it was fun and I really enjoyed it. I'd never done it before, I'm no expert. I didn't plan on making a how-to video, but because I enjoyed it so much, I thought I'd share the method I used and hopefully encourage others to have a go too. When I come to make the Kumiko panels, I'm going to use the table saw to make the joints. You don't have to do that, you can cut them by hand, but because I'm doing that, the strips need to be exactly the same thickness as the kerf of the table saw. They all have one rough face and they just need cleaning up and putting through the thicknesser, but if I try and put something as thin as that through the thicknesser, the ends will try and stick up and they'll get caught in the cutters and they'll end up breaking and it'll be a mess. I've got this old piece of laminate flooring, and with a few strips of double-sided tape I can stick the strips down and plane them safely. I just had a couple of them break on the first pass, and that's because they were positioned poorly on the double-sided tape. The tape was so far back here and it's this front edge that really needs holding down well, so I've put a bit more double-sided tape there and repositioned them. I've taken a scrap block of wood and I've made a saw cut on the table saw and I'm using that as a gauge, and that shows me that I'm getting close now. One more pass should do it. Now I'll cut the pieces that make up the frame, and I'll do that with this simple jig. It's a little bit like a finger joint jig where I'll make the first cut through 6 pieces, and I can do those all at once, and it's 6 pieces because that's what I need for the frame. And once I've made that cut, they'll be halfway up the strips. I can put that over the cube and then make the next cut, and then I can lift that over again and make a third cut. And by doing that, it will keep them all exactly the same distance apart. So it does a really good job and it's very simple. I'll overhang the ends by so much, and then I will trim them down and they'll overhang by 6mm, but I'll do that afterwards. So as long as I've got more than 6mm, that should work. Now I need to make a couple of simple jigs for cutting the correct angles. I've got a 45°, 67.5 and a 22.5. I did this one here with the 2 angles either end. I don't like that, so I'm going to make a separate one, and I'm going to remake the 22.5 and I'll show you how I do it. I hope this makes sense. I've got the miter saw set at 22.5 degrees. If we make that cut now, it'll be 22.5 degrees off this edge here, but that's not what we want. We want 22.5 degrees off the back edge. If we do make that cut, then we'll end up with a 67.5 degree, which is what we want for the other block. So that's how we do that one with the 22.5 degree setting. To get the 22.5, we have to bring the workpiece round to get that angle. And the way I've done that is I use the 45 of a square, and with the 45 of the square plus the 22.5, that makes our 67.5. This time I need to flip it over and cut the same angle off the other side, but I need to take off just a little bit more, hardly anything, just a hair. So I'll undo that. I'll actually put it back this side and I can feel it. Hopefully you can see that second cut is about twice as wide as the first cut, and that's to allow the next piece to fit into it better. Now I need a very short piece to go across here, and that will have 45-degree cuts on each side. I'll be using this method in an upcoming video, so look out for that. Hopefully it encourages you to have a go yourself. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.